Yeah, sinna go bhé cardide war géad fáilte go dtí an chlár anocht ar Fermanagh GAA TV don trán a ggéist seachtainúil in éanacht leis an coiste éireachta cultúr agus Gaeilge. Is mis sé Ciarán mo ggéirbe me live ar fá a bhog ná mhór uair a cloig agus tású lem go mééis sibh an a bheith lom. Folks, you're welcome to our final weekly Tranagast online that is being run in cooperation with Fermanagh GAA TV. Myself, Kieran McGeer, I'm going to be with you for our final quiz tonight. And as I say every week, for those of you who have been joining in every day or every Tuesday evening, we're very indebted to you, and hopefully you have enjoyed the provisions that we have that have been available to you, the Fermanagh GAA community. Our quiz tonight will follow the similar format that we have used the past couple of weeks. 6 rounds, 10 questions. So hopefully, I'm sure for those of you who are always joining in, you have pen and paper ready to go, eyes down, and we'll start with our first round this evening, which is Bout a Hien, and it is a geography round. So this is our first round. Now, before we begin, a couple of announcements of upcoming events. Uh, there is a coaching survey which can be filled in online, and this is for past and present coaches. So, if you would like to give your opinion on regarding coaching methods and issues related to that coaching survey can be found on the Fermanagh GA website. So just tune in, click on the link, and it'll only take you a couple of minutes to fill that in. Right. Question one in our quiz this evening in this geography round is as follows. What is the world's largest continent by area? What is the world's largest continent by area? Question 2. Which is the only major city to be located on two continents? And by that, we mean it straddles two continents. What is the only major city to be located on two continents? If you know the answer, make sure and write down the two continents that's involved, but we're going to find that out when we come to our answer section. Ceist over 3. What is the fastest flowing river in the world? What is the fastest flowing river in the world? Ceist over 4. In which ocean would you find the island of Bermuda? In which ocean would you find Bermuda? The island of Bermuda. Okay, Ceist over Cuig, number 5. What is the southernmost state in the US of A? What is the southernmost state in the USA? Number 6. What country has the longest coastline? What country has the longest coastline? Number 7. How many states are there in Australia? How many states are there in Australia? So, Australian political geography is a bit complicated. We have states and we have territories, etc., etc. But we're asking for the number of states. What is the capital of Chile? What is the capital city of Chile? Ishtivrini, what is the capital of New York State? What is the capital of New York State? And that's where the governor of the state, that's where their political office is held. So, what is the capital of New York State? And that question, it's not as easy as it looked because the answer is 100% definitely not New York City. So, if you had New York City there, that'll put the cat among the pigeons because that's not the answer. Okay, and the final question in this round, Ceist J. Lough can be found in which county? Lough can be found in which county? So there we are. That completes our 10 questions in round number one. So we'll have challenging questions, educational questions, and a couple of questions that hopefully everybody will know. So we'll move on to round number two. And this is a round on sport, general sport, all kinds of sport. And we all think back to the time when we had sport, but you'd miss it now, no doubt. But we'll have all these questions relating to sport. So we'll start off with Ceist Raheen, and that is as follows. The O'Donovan brothers rose to fame after winning Ireland's first Olympic medals in rowing. Which town are they from? The O'Donovan brothers rose to fame after winning Ireland's first Olympic medals in rowing. Which town are they from? It's Gary and Patrick O'Donovan. We all know them from the TV and their interviews. So where are they from? Ceist Ivredá. Ireland's women's hockey team lost in the Hockey World Cup final 2 years ago. Who defeated them? Ireland's women's hockey team lost in the Hockey World Cup final 2 years ago. Who defeated them? So we all remember, it's hard to believe, it's 2 years ago from that fantastic run of the Ireland women's hockey team, but who defeated them in that World Cup final? Okay, question number three. Jockey Cian O'Connor was famously stripped of his gold medal at the 2004 Olympic Games. What was the name of his horse? So jockey Cian O'Connor was famously stripped of his gold medal at the 2004 Olympic Games. What was the name of his horse? Ivry Ceathair. World snooker champion Dennis Taylor comes from which Tyrone town? World snooker champion Dennis Taylor comes from which Tyrone town? Eistivracuig. Conor McGregor is famous for his fighting skills in the octagon. Recently, he has started to brew his own whiskey. What is the name of that whiskey? So there we go. Question five. Conor McGregor is famous for his fighting skills in the octagon. Recently, he has started to brew his own whiskey. What is the name of that whiskey? So it was in the papers recently. Conor McGregor. This was seen to be a sort of a positive story about the man, but he's brewing this whiskey. So what's the name of it? Number six. Which Irish footballer was shortlisted for the goal 14? You call it the Puskas Award or something that sounds a bit like that there, where they scour the world for all the best goals that were scored in that year. And this Irish footballer was shortlisted. They didn't win the award, but they come very, very close. And I can remember the goal. It was an outrageous goal. But what was the name of that footballer who scored the goal, which was nominated for the goal of the year in 2014, 6 years ago? Right, number seven. This person won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award in 2010, the first of his sport to win it. So in 2010, the person that we're looking for won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award, and they were the first person connected to their sport that won this award. First person ever. So it happened in 2010, and they won the BBC Sports Personality Year of the Award. Who was it? Right, number eight, Ceist over the Hocht. Belcoo darts player Brendan Dolan goes by what nickname? Belcoo darts player Brendan Dolan goes by what nickname? Now, number nine. Which Enniskillen-born sprinter represented Canada at the 1908 Olympics in London, winning gold in the 200 metres and bronze in the 100 metres. So there we go, a historical son which was born in Enniskillen, and they represented Canada at the 1908 Olympics, which was held in London, and they won gold in the 200 metres and bronze in the 100 metres. Who was that sprinter? And final question in that round, if you were playing in Fraher Field, where would you be? In what county? So Fraher Field is the county ground of which county? Okay, then, so that completes the 10 questions of Bout the Iverada, which is our sport round. So we'll move on with Fragri, the answers for Bout the Iveraheen, which was our geography round. So red pen at the ready, and here we go. Question number one. What is the world's largest continent by area? It is the continent of Asia. And when you have right lump of Russia in your continent, you're off to a good start anyway. And it's also Asia's also the largest continent by population as well. So that's Asia for you. Keshtivradar, which is the only major city to be located on two continents, that is Istanbul, which is located on the edge or between the continents of Europe and Asia. So that is Istanbul in the country of Turkey. Right, number three. What is the fastest flowing river in the world? It is the Amazon. Amazon River in South America, Brazil, and mostly anyway, and that's the fastest flowing river in the world. Right, Kish Divra in which ocean would you find Bermuda? It's in the Atlantic Ocean. So Bermuda's in the Caribbean Sea, you're in and around there anyway, and that's all in the Atlantic Ocean between North America and Europe. So that's the Atlantic Ocean. Right, number five. What is the southernmost state in the USA? This question can catch people out because the southernmost state is the state of Hawaii. Okay, so those and Hawaii and Alaska is the two states that's not connected to the mainland. But those are that's the southernmost and the northernmost state of the US, Hawaii. Okay, number six. What country has the longest coastline? It's Canada. Okay, so Canada. Canada is the second largest country by area in the world, and it also has the longest coastline. Number seven, how many states are there in Australia? So I explained that Australia is a bit complicated because you've got states and you've got territories, and it's a bit mad like that. But number of states is a set number, and it's six. And those states are New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, Western Australia, Tasmania, South Australia. Okay. So, and then there's, as I say, there's these couple of territories, but as regards states, there's six. And there you are. Those are the six states in Australia. Right. Number eight. What is the capital city of Chile? It's a place called Santiago. Finished for the knee. This was the question. What is the capital of New York State? And as I explained, it's not New York City, it's Albany. Albany in upstate New York. That is the capital of New York State. Right, and Ceist Lough can be found in which county? It's in County Roscommon. Okay, then. So those are our answers to round number one. We're going to move on with round number three. Name that movie. So in this round, you want to see famous lines, famous lines from scenes in these movies, like standout scenes. So I'm going to read them out without mimicking how they would sound in the film, because some of them that'll give you too much of a hint. So do your best if you can recognize these famous bits of dialogue from movies. So, number one, roads where we're going, we don't need roads. Roads where we're going, we don't need roads. So, rack your brain and see if you can remember which movie that was said in. Number two, Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary. Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary. So, what film was that in? Number three, I'll be back. I'll be back. So, certainly one actor is very famously connected with that line. And in what film was that? Would you find that phrase? I'll be back. Number four, just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Number five, you can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. Number six, I'll have what she's having. I'll have what she's having. Number seven, Stella. Hey, Stella. Stella. Hey, Stella. Ever a hawk. Number eight, she doesn't even go here. She doesn't even go here. Ever a nay. Number nine, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. And the final one in this round is ever a Jake, number 10. Nobody puts baby in a corner. Nobody puts baby in a corner. And that completes About the Everett Tree, which is a name that movie round. So there we go, halfway through our quiz tonight. We're going to take a short commercial break. I'll be back with the answers for round two and the questions in round four. So stay with us. Agus fáilte arás a cardide, so you're welcome back for the second part of our final online Tráth na Gceist quiz. So we're going to move on with Bauta Adon Fragri for that round, which was our sports round. So here we go with our sports round. So your Donovan brothers rose to fame after winning Ireland's first Olympic medals in rowing. Which town are they from? They're from Skibbereen. Okay, so that's the O'Donovan brothers. Number two, Ireland's women's hockey team lost in the Hockey World Cup final 2 years ago. Who defeated them? It was the Netherlands. So they did a very memorable run. They defeated India and some of the real powerhouse in hockey, but they came up short, unfortunately, in the final against the Netherlands. Number three, jockey Cian O'Connor was famously stripped of his gold medal at the 2004 Olympics. What was the name of his horse? It was Waterford Crystal. So it was after a testing controversy, but the horse tested for some substance and he was stripped of his medal, but that was the name of the horse anyway. Number four, world snooker champion Dennis Taylor comes from which Tyrone town? He comes from Cool Island. Okay, Cool Island. Number five, Conor McGregor is famous for his fighting skills in the octagon. Recently, he has started to brew his own whiskey. What is the name of that whiskey? It's called Proper 12. Proper 12. Number six, which Irish footballer was shortlisted for the FIFA Goal of the Year in 2014? Stephanie Roach. Okay, so she played for Peamount United, and I can remember this over or a volley over the head, and that was the goal. And if you can't remember it, make sure and go and look it up on YouTube because it's really outstanding. And it lost out to your man from Colombia, Rodriguez, unfortunately. But I think it was the best goal anyway. But anyway, that was the name of the footballer. So number seven, this person won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award in 2010, the first of a sport to win it. Who was it? It was Anthony Peter McKay, Tony McKay. Okay, often shortened to AP. Number eight, Belgu darts player Brendan Dolan goes by what nickname? It's the history maker. Again, but here we go again. Which Enniskillen born sprinter represented Canada at the 1908 Olympics in London, winning gold in the 200 metres and bronze in the 100 metres? Robert Kerr. So that's the answer to that question. And the final question in that round was a question as follows. If you were playing in Field, where would you be? That's the county ground of Waterford. Okay, so those completes the answers for round number two. Now we'll move on with round number four, and hopefully we can get through this as quickly as possible to make up for the lost time. Um, here we go with question ever number one. Normal People, the TV program, has bombarded our TV screens during lockdown. It's based on the best-selling novel written by which author? Normal People has bombarded our TV screens during lockdown. It's based on the best selling novel written by which author? So, who do we have to thank for thinking up Normal People? Number two, in which year was T.G. Keher first aired? In which year was T.G. Keher first aired? List of the three. Who preceded Daniel Craig characterizing James Bond? Who preceded Daniel Craig characterizing James Bond? Christopher Ceathair. The Irish flag has the same colours, only in the opposite order to which African country? The Irish flag has the same colours, only in the opposite order to which African country? So, which African country is often mistaken for the flag of Ireland, but it's the same colours, just in the opposite order? Number five. What is Ishkibaha? What is Ishkibaha? Test number six. How many moles are there in Ireland? Now, when we ask that there, we mean how many mole species. How many moles are there in Ireland? Now, number seven. Who are Finbar Wright, Anthony Cairns, and Ronan Tynan better known as? Who are Finbar Wright, Anthony Cairns, and Ronan Tynan better known as? What is the name for those three people? Everett Hocht, which well-known Irish author wrote The Lady of the Shroud and The Lair of the White Worm? Which well-known Irish author wrote The Lady of the Shroud and The Lair of the White Worm? Everett Knee, how many counties touch the Shannon River? How many counties touch the Shannon River? And the final question in that round, when were women first allowed to vote in Ireland? When were women first allowed to vote in Ireland? And that completes round number four, which was a general knowledge round. So what we're going to do now is move back to round three and get the answers to that round, which was a movie round. So we had famous quotations. What movie were they from? One number one, roads. When where we're going, we don't need roads, and that is found in Back to the Future. Number two, Carpe diem, seize the day, boys, make your lives extraordinary, is from Dead Poets Society. Number three, I'll Be Back is famously associated with Arnold Schwarzenegger from the film Terminator, from the entire Terminator series. You just think of it all. I'll Be Back from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Number four, just keep swimming, Finding Nemo. That's from Finding Nemo. Just keep swimming. Number five, you can't handle the truth, is from A Few Good Men. So that's the name of the film in which that phrase, you can't handle the truth. And it be used very regular, and that's the film that it's from. Number six, I'll have what she's having, is a line from When Harry Met Sally. I'll have what she's having, When Harry Met Sally. Number seven, Stella. Hey, Stella is a line from A Streetcar Named Desire. And it's a famous scene where Marlon Brando, who played the role out there, went out onto the street and screaming for Stella. If you've seen it, you'll not forget it. Number eight, She Doesn't Even Go Here, is from Mean Girls. She doesn't even go here. Number nine, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse, The Godfather. I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse, is from The Godfather. And number 10, Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner, famously from the film Dirty Dancing. Now, number five is a music round, and it's the second last round that we're going to have tonight. So we'll move through it as quick as we can. And question number one, Kish Divrahin, the song Dirty Old Town refers to which city? The song Dirty Old Town refers to which city? Number two, Raglan Road was written by which famous Irish writer? Raglan Road was written by which famous Irish writer? Number three, which town do the Corrs hail from? Which town does the musical band the Corrs hail from? They were quite famous in the maybe late 90s, certainly the early noughties. And where did they hail from? And they're still going now. But that was certainly when they got their initial fame. But where are they from? Number four, Lady in Red was written by which Irish singer? Lady in Red was written by which Irish singer? Number five, Fermanagh Neil Hannon is the front man of which band? Fermanagh Neil Hannon is the front man of which band? Brishay. Andrew Byrne is the real name of a County Wicklow born musician. He is better known as what? Andrew Byrne is the real name of a County Wicklow born musician. He is better known as what? So it's a bit like the round last week where you had the we give you the stage name or their real name, or to know their stage name. So Andrew Bourne is the real name. Number seven, pop band. Picture this are from which county? Pop band. Picture this are from which county? Hacht. Ryan O'Shaughnessy shot to fame after appearing on Britain's Got Talent in the year 2012. In 2018, he represented Ireland in the Eurovision Song Contest. What was the name of the song he competed with? Ryan O'Shaughnessy shot to fame after appearing on Britain's Got Talent in 2012. In 2018, he represented Ireland in the Eurovision Song Contest. What was the name of the song he competed with? Number 9. Westmeath man Joe Dolan wrote many hits in his time. But in what year did Joe Dolan die? Westmeath man Joe Dolan wrote many hits in his time. But in what year did Joe Dolan leave the stage permanently? And final question in that round is Kish Jake, who wrote Sinead O'Connor's hit Nothing Compares to You. So who wrote the song Nothing Compares to You, and then Sinead O'Connor made it quite famous. But the original author also had a version of this song, but we all think that Sinead O'Connor's is certainly the most famous version of it. But who wrote the song Nothing Compares to You? And that completes the penultimate round in our quiz this evening. So we're about to move on to the answers for Bout to Ivra, which is the general knowledge round. So here we go. Question one. Normal People has bombarded our TV screens during lockdown. It's based on the best selling novel written by which author? That is Sally Rooney. So I don't think Sally Rooney could have ever thought when she wrote that book that it would get as much of a following as it did. But anyway, there you are. That's news for Sally Rooney. Number two. In which year was PG Cahir first aired? It went to air on Iha Hauna, which is the 31st of October in 1996. So only 24 years, not 24 years yet, on the go is TG Cahir. And look at the effect it has, certainly for GA games. Number three, who preceded Daniel Craig characterising James Bond? That was Pierce Brosnan. All right, so that was that was the James Bond before Daniel Craig. Number four, the Irish flag has the same colours, only in the opposite order to which African country? Thank goodness I didn't read that. I was reading out the question because the answer is the Ivory Coast. Okay, so the Ivory Coast's flag goes orange, white, and then green. Number five, what is Ishkibaha? It's, of course, whiskey. So there you go. Ishkibaha is your whiskey. Number six, how many moles are there in Ireland? How many species of moles? There's none. So the total number of moles and the total number of species in Ireland is none. Number seven, who are Finbar Wright, Anthony Cairns, and Ronan Tynan, better known as, they're known as the Three Tenors. So there you go. Finbar Wright, Anthony Cairns, and Ronan Tynan. Ivra Hocht, which well-known Irish author wrote The Lady of the Shroud and The Lair of the White Worm? That was Bram Stoker. Number nine. How many counties touch the River Shannon? It is a grand total of 11. So if you got that answer and if you could name them all out, fair play to you. And question 10, the final question in that round. When were women first allowed to vote in Ireland? It was in 1918, 102 years ago. Now, just before we start our final round, I would like to thank Emily, who sent our questions in this evening, and I'm sure you'll all agree we've had a very enjoyable, we've had very great variety of questions, and questions that are educational and testing. So it's contributed to a very enjoyable evening. And I would like to take this second just to thank everyone who sent questions in over the entirety of our online quizzes. I really appreciate it, and they're really fantastic. So thanks very much, Emily, for tonight, and everyone who has contributed in over the past couple of weeks. Now, with that being said, we still have one round to go. So eyes down for our final round, which you'll see on your screen is a history round. Bow to a shame. Number one, Ceist Raheen. The Chernobyl disaster was recently dramatised in a critically acclaimed miniseries. But in what year did it occur? The Chernobyl disaster was recently dramatised in a critically acclaimed miniseries. In what year did it occur? So, what year did the Chernobyl disaster occur? Number two, in what year did the Titanic sink? In what year did the Titanic sink? Number three, what did the Romans call Scotland? What did the Romans call Scotland? Number four, who was Queen of England while William Shakespeare was alive? Who was Queen of England while William Shakespeare was alive? Number five, who assassinated Abraham Lincoln? The US President Abraham Lincoln, who assassinated him. Number six, the first successful vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796. Which disease did it guard against? The first successful vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner in 1796. Which disease did it guard against? So, at this stage, how much we're looking forward to a vaccine for the coronavirus. But in 1796, what did Edward Jenner's vaccine guard against? Number seven, on the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941, who said, our enemies have performed a brilliant feat of deception, perfectly timed and executed with great skill? Who said, our enemies have performed a brilliant feat of deception, perfectly timed and executed with great skill on the bombing of Pearl Harbor in 1941? Number eight, which country was the first to give women the right to vote in 1893? Which country was the first to give women the right to vote in 1893? Number nine, in which year did the Battle of Hastings take place? In which year did the Battle of Hastings take place? And number 10, the final question of this evening and of our online Tranagest is as follows. In 1594, 650 English soldiers were defeated as they tried to cross the Arny River outside Enniskillen. What name is that battle known by? In 1594, 650 English soldiers were defeated as they tried to cross the Arny River outside Enniskillen. What name is that battle known by? And that completes our quiz this evening. So we'll get our answers to round five and round six. Starting off with round five, question one. The song Dirty Old Town refers to which city? It's the city of Salford. Raglan Road was written by which famous Irish writer? Patrick Kavanagh. Which town do the Coors hail from? Dundalk. Lady in Red was written by which Irish singer? That was Chris de Burgh. Fermanagh Neil Hannon is the frontman of which band? And he is the frontman of the Divine Comedy. And that's Neil Hannon. Number six. Andrew Bourne is the real name of a County Wicklow born musician. He is better known as what? He's better known as Hosier. Number seven, pop band Picture This are from which county? They're from the County Kildare. Number eight, what was the name of the song that Ryan O'Shaughnessy competed in the Eurovision? It was Together. Number nine, in what year did Joe Dolan die? 2007. Number 10, who wrote Nothing Compares to You? Prince. And Prince had the first version, but Sinead O'Connor made it quite famous. There you are, Prince. And our final round is the history round. The answers to that are as follows. In what year did the Chernobyl disaster occur? It happened in 1986. In what year did the Titanic sink? That was 1912. What did the Romans call Scotland? They called it Caledonia. Who was the Queen of England while William Shakespeare was alive? Elizabeth the First. Who assassinated Abraham Lincoln? That was John Wilkes Booth. Number seven, the first successful vaccine was introduced by Edward Jenner. What did it guard against? It guarded against smallpox, which ravaged the countries at that time. So we have Edward Jenner to thank for that. Number seven, who said that about Pearl Harbor? It was the US president of the time, F.D. Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or FDR, as he's known by. And he was the US president at that time. Number eight, which country was the first to give women the right to vote in 1893? It was New Zealand. Number nine, in which year did the Battle of Hastings take place? It took place in 1066. And number 10, in 1594, 650 English soldiers were defeated as they tried to cross the Arny River near Enniskillen. By what name is that battle known by? It's known by the Battle of the Ford of the Biscuits. The Battle of the Ford of the Biscuits. And that completes our Tranagesh tonight. One final announcement I would like to make is please do not forget the schedule of events that Fermanagh GAA TV are providing for the rest of the week and for the rest of May. And it starts off tomorrow evening with a coaching webinar. That is saying this at this stage, but if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to the content that is provided to you from Fermanagh GAA TV. Finally, don't forget your club lottos, which can be done online. The information's on all the social media channels for I would like to thank you sincerely, everyone who has joined in this over the last 5 or 6 weeks. I hope you have enjoyed it. And before we go, I have to mention Phil, me production, who has looked after the whole of the production, and he's been behind the scenes keeping everything going. So thanks very much to Phil as well. And as I said, those of you who provided the questions, but most importantly, those of you who sat down, done the answers with us. Hopefully, you've learned a lot, tested out your knowledge, and will be ready and raring to go when, fingers crossed, we get back to a score program in the next season. We can only hope at this stage, but sure, we'll see how it goes. Wumse Kieran McGear, Slán agus Spanacht agus Ganairi and Taliv an Wohershiv. Gaji Shin, Gajay Shiv Slán.